Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba, Season 4, Episode 7, Hashira Training Arc. This episode going to be a 40-minute long episode. And I have Will in tow. Let's get it. All right, guys, Brent here back with Geek Variants. We cover all things Marvel, DC, Lord of the Rings, anime, gaming, Star Wars, and more. This time, Demon Slayer. Myself, one of the flashy Hashiras, with my boy Will. Welcome on in, chat. Welcome on in, Rels. How we doing, Ari? See you from coming back from some exciting My Hero Academia that we discussed the other night. Fantastic to see you. Welcome back on in, Will. You haven't been here for most of the streams or most of the recaps for Demon Slayer. Give your thoughts, feelings, perspectives so far on this season for this Hashira training arc. Now that you're caught up.
It's been a wild one. It's mainly been focused on Tanjiro. I'm glad that towards the latter episodes we got to see more Zenitsu and Inosuke kind of coming in and doing their thing. But I like how it's just been showing how Tanjiro's been advancing and how far advanced he is than the other Demon Slayers, the other junior Demon Slayers. So it's been fun. I definitely still got to say that Genya and his relationship with his brother is by far the most interesting part to me at this point in time. I want to see how they're gonna, how or if they're even gonna resolve their issues and how that's gonna affect them in the battle coming up. So
there's a lot to break down just in that. And Rels, we are doing good. Always a great Sunday because it's a Sunday double feature. Don't forget, y'all, we have Demon Slayer right now. Episode will be up in about 15 minutes. We like get in a little bit earlier to hang out with you guys, the Geek Variant community. Later on today, House of the Dragons episode 2. So if you haven't checked in for your therapy, this episode will put it right in you, just, on the house, because that's just how things are run around here. But yeah, the relationship with Genya and Sanami is going to continue to be a driving factor for a lot of what we're going to see pertaining to either potentially next season or potentially the next 3 films. The rumor is right now that Demon Slayer, the Infinity Castle, is going to be a 3-movie epic, which, if you have read the manga as I have, you know why. I'm not going to get into spoilers, not going to get into details, not getting nitty gritty. We're going to let fans come in how they want to. But absolutely is something that's going to be something that will be great for the viewer. With the animation style, the animation quality that's been exhibited from the last couple Demon Slayer movies, that Will can attest because he's seen a couple of them in theaters. Quality's there. And we saw at the beginning of the episode 1 of this Hashira training arc, that was the animation quality style. It was fantastic. It was over the top. It's well done. If they do that for all 3 films, it could potentially be like some of the greatest anime films we've seen in a good long while. For me, it'd be up there with Dragon Ball Z when they did the Broly movie, the latest one, because that one was fantastic. I love that stuff. I'm all about it. I know My Hero makes great films as well. Still got to catch up on all of those exciting things. I know they're not necessarily important to the story, but they add on more depths and more layers to the story. So that's something I'll have to catch up on at that moment in time. Will, would you be excited if the next arc was 3 films?
I would be excited, but it depends on the release schedule. Like, what are they going to do to get these animated and up and ready to go? Now, if they do it again, 1 movie every year leading up, I can deal. Like, I can deal with it, not a problem. I would appreciate it if they want to set them up to where it's like, hey, we're gonna do them, every in 6 month increments or something like that. Cool. So I mean, as long as it's not more than a year between movies, I will be okay. And it's got to be in theaters. Like, if you're gonna go this big for the narrative and stuff like that, I would like to see it shown. Like, you can get that, like they've been doing with the advanced screening. So it's like, hey, you can see it in theaters, and then it'll be on in May. Like, drop the movie February, the movie will be on Crunchyroll in May or something like that, and people can watch it because I think it deserves that big screen treatment.
And then I almost forgot that we even had the Black Clover movie because that came out last year, and then that got us, supposedly excited for the next installment of Black Clover. But nothing really seen in that regard. But at the same time, I'd be totally with it as far as these three films are concerned because we still have to take Akaza, Doma, and Kokushibo out before we even consider getting to Muzan. So we have a lot of material to cover, a lot of action to go through, and I'm sure everyone once they finally see Doma fully animated, because we've only seen teases on the insane psychopath that Doma really truly is, to see him fully fleshed out on screen for the fans who don't know, y'all are going to be in for a treat. It's going to be a fantastic time. I'm excited for everyone to be able to kind of get to know each of these characters more in depth, some more interesting information pertaining to them, and how well this studio can continue to animate some amazing stuff pertaining to all these great characters. It's going to be a fantastic time. Excuse me, overall. Got like those hiccups kind of going on early on. Gotta love that. But at the same time, like this series has been fantastic this season, even though, for all intents and purposes, if we look at the long logistics of this season, nothing's happened other than we got Giyu back in the fold because he was mentally checked out. That's what's happened. That is the gist of everything other than Tanjiro being able to turn on and off his market will. There's two things that have happened within 6 episodes, and yet no one's complaining. That's
Yeah.
when you the animation style and the writing itself is solid.
Well, we also had and I could be saying her name wrong. Nakami. She was promoted to upper rank 4.
Mm. For the demons, yes, because she will also be a pivotal character for that Infinity Castle arc when we get there. Because I almost always forget that she even exists because she's more of a mover and a
Mm.
shaker and a planner than opposed to somebody who's out here like actually doing that, actual battle. And it's like, did she really move up to upper rank 4? Or is it because everybody else got kind of removed? Just like, hey, congratulations, your entire department's quit. You're the manager. Good luck.
You are my new elite employee.
It's like,
That's
I am
exactly
your
what it is.
only employee, sir. Like, that's just how things work at a certain time. You just kind of have to roll with the punches as things happen. And then a friendly reminder for those jumping in, as much as we would love to show the episode on screen, we don't have legal rights, legal authorities, or legal permissions in order to do so. We'll have it off stream. We'll be talking about things as it happens. But if you want to get all things geek and all things early recap, stick around for the watch party. Because I know Ari came on in for My Hero, said, hey, what's up? I'm gonna go watch the episode, circled back, joined up when we had our recap. We had phenomenal chat going on at that time. I do apologize for dipping a little bit early that night, but it was like 3:45 in the morning my time, and wanted to
Mhm.
get some sleep just in case Will was like, hey, I can't make Kaiju number 8, but thank goodness my boy was there, standing strong. How was that episode recap, sir? How was that episode overall? I haven't
That
watched it yet, but I know where things are going.
that one took the cake as far as the set. Like episode 10 was a setup. Episode 11 was like the preamble. So yeah, stuff is really about to pop off there. And just the fact is, something that was said earlier in the season came to fruition as far as what happens when you find a kaiju and what they do with it. Yeah, it's gonna be on one. So I'm excited to see that next episode and how they stay set up to kind of go from there.
Yeah, kind of putting things into perspective, though. We are nearing the end here. Demon Slayer has 2 more episodes, and then we're back on hiatus. Same with Kaiju number 8. We're nearing the end, folks. We've been on an amazing run with great anime content. But next week will be the finale of 2 great animes that have been running concurrently for a little while now. We'll have tons of content to cover that little bit of a bridge there, a little bit of a gap, as all things are considering. My Hero Academia is still going to be going strong, so I will obviously have that covered for you guys. We're only halfway through the Acolyte, so we'll still be continuing that, as well as our coverage for The Boys, which has been a just otherworldly great show, continuing on its level of prominence that it's always been at. The fan backlash, I do think, is absolutely hilarious that it took 4 seasons to realize the joke had been pointing at them the entire time, because that means you openly are admitting that for 3 seasons You had no idea a show you were watching was making fun of you. Like, how do you miss that? Like this show, that show has been making fun of everybody of every background, of every anything that's ever existed in your face, and you thought somehow, some way, you weren't the butt of a joke along the way, right? It's like it's been an absolute insane time to see the fan backlash going on with that. And like, how do you feel overall about like just fan backlash with major shows right now? Because the Acolyte Star Wars fans, we going through it, and now the boys fans are starting to have backlash and trying to review bomb a great season. What are your thoughts on fans reacting that way? Show starts at 8:45 RSVP. 8:45, about 5 minutes out.
Yeah. So as far as the backlash is concerned, I love a good story. Again, that's the main thing when I watch stuff is I want you to tell a good story. And even with the fan backlash for with the boys and stuff, it's kind of like it's if you've read the comics, then you already knew. But as you're watching the show, if you couldn't see that it's a parody on a lot of things that are going on within our current climate, then I don't know how you missed it, unless you were just that enthralled in just superheroes in general. It has been there from the start. As far as Star Wars goes, I think the backlash is warranted because I actually just heard something. You can tell me if this is true or not, or you can look into it. That one of the characters apparently his date, the date he was born, was changed because he was mentioned in the show or something like that, and
He
apparently he
wasn't
wasn't.
mentioned. He was there. We missed him. I assumed it was someone from the same race because I was like, that guy's dead. There's
Yeah, I
no
remember you
way he's
mentioned it
alive
during the
during
show,
that.
something about the race, and yeah, so it's like, why was he here? And then now it's been thrown back. So I don't know.
So it's like basically Kia di Mundi, the significance of this character being retconned is he wasn't alive when these events happened. Bro was like 60 or 70 when he died during Revenge of the Sith. There's no spoilers there. The movies have been out, since like the early 2000s. It's been out there, it's been done. The significance of him being brought in is the fact that his moment is he states specifically, and it's not like kind of sort of suggested it, is that hey, the Sith haven't been seen in a millennia. A millennia is a little bit longer than 100 years. So if this took place, 80, 90 years before we got the Phantom Menace, he was alive for this, was aware of the ongoing events, and then just literally somehow forgot what was going on here. It changes the entirety of the lore on him. And people were watching Star Wars Theory live, and Star Wars Theory was looking up the Wikipedia, which is Star Wars version of Wikipedia, which is where like the facts are supposed to be. It's supposed to be independently edited by like 5 or 6 people of Star Wars, like elite lore genre.
Okay.
They watched it live as people were changed in Wikipedia to be retconned for this new writing because Kia di Mundi was credited in this. Apparently, that was supposed to be Yoda's role, but Dave Filoni said no. So that was very interesting to see that Yoda was not allowed, but Kia di Mundi was allowed to be brought out in this particular instance. So they've reestablished lore and canon several times in that show, poorly, I might add. And while it shouldn't have changed too much. By the same time, that having someone saying, "Hey, we haven't seen the Sith in a millennia," but literally 80 years prior, we had a Sith out here, destroying Jedi. You think that would be the water cooler talk on Monday, regardless if you were there or not?
Yeah.
Like you feel like that kind of information would be brought up at least in some instances or some light. You think someone would be like, "Hey, let's talk about what happened to Saul over there. Here he got force blasted away like everybody else, and then cut to black for no reason." It's like that should be kind of important. Like there's like nothing going on, so you'd think, at least in some aspect or some respect, it would have been addressed. But again, Star Wars, that's for another day. We're 1 minute out on Demon Slayer. I think in some instances, just to cover like the whole synopsis of Backlash, I love when fans speak out. I love when fans say their critique. I love it when people are talking about things they're passionate about. But at a certain point, talking out and doing things in a correct form and fashion, not because you are being targeted, quote unquote, is something that needs to be addressed. Having a voice and an opinion is something everyone should have. No one here is saying otherwise. But when we're speaking from something we're passionate about emotionally, you should take that step back and try and break up your points logically and factually, so we're not just out here attacking people of different backgrounds because. That's my 2 cents on it. But I'm a YouTuber. What do I know? You guys live your lives the way you want to. The Demon Slayer episode is, in fact, almost up. It should be dropping here any second now. Remember, last week it was about 2 to 5 minutes late. So if it's just a little bit behind, we do apologize. And sorry if you didn't hear me RSVP. I felt like I was fairly confident in my statement of the time. Maybe I wasn't clear because, I mean, when I get up here and then we're talking about Star Wars, I could get sidetracked. Will can fully attest to this.
Very much so. I mean,
it happens.
it's Star Trek in Star
Star
Wars.
Trek.
And, no, Star Trek, Star Wars, and what's the other one?
Star Trek fans are very calm. You're not going to get like an angry debate out of that.
You're not going to be angry, but they will talk for hours on end. Yeah. Star Trek, Star Wars, and what's the other one? I think, Lord of the Rings, them people. Yeah.
What do you mean, them people?
Yeah.
You got something you want to say? Do you want to just call me out like in front of? I will bring Sauron over from his mount to come talk to you. Don't make me do it.
I wish I could talk about Marvel at the length that you guys talk about. Anything in the space fantasy genre, I think, has so much more in terms of people that talk about it. Like, they can go on for hours on end, whereas I can talk about Marvel for a little bit, you know, a good hour or two, whatever, and that's it. I'm tapped out. Like,
welcome on in, Whale. Go ahead.
I don't know. I can't do it. Like I said, so that's why it's been so hard for me to keep track of anything in Star Wars without, hey, Brent, what is this? What does this mean? Who is this? Okay, I'm checked out. That's why I'm so far checked out of the Acolyte right now. I'm like,
because like the thing is, and as fans, we should always be gracious to those who don't understand the lore. That's why I've never understood gatekeeping. I think gatekeeping is one of the dumbest things within the geek community. Demon Slayer episode 7 hasn't dropped yet, so we'll react to that as it comes up. But I still think gatekeeping is one of the dumbest things in geekdom. I think if someone doesn't know some general level of information, tell them kindly, tell them the facts of what's going on, and then let them come up with their own independent thoughts on things. You ask questions that you feel personally pertain to Star Wars. I'm not trying to treat you any different kind of way because you don't know the lore. And sometimes they're trying to introduce new lore that, you know, doesn't make any sense. So confusion can happen. So it's like, the episode's not up yet, Ari. I've been hitting that refresh button. It was supposed to be an 8. Oh, episode just dropped, guys. Episode just dropped. It doesn't even have a title. Oh, it does have. We're going to focus on Guillaume. I'm going to leave something up in the chat. Will let me know when you are good to go and you found the episode. It is up on Crunchyroll.
Yeah, I'm on Crunchyroll. It is not up for me yet.
Just keep hitting that refresh button. It'll pop on out before the server crashes, because you know this can't happen. It's called Stone Hashira Guillaume Himejima. The coolest blind character in this series. He's way cooler than Daredevil, I'm just saying. But at the same time, you know, that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. Stone.
Just take them shots at Daredevil. You know, it's cool. It's cool though.
It's like I would take less shots at Daredevil if he was shown better in Echo.
Okay, there it is.
He was teased for the big thing. You got it? I only hit start and then I pause it. I'm on like the 2-second mark.
I'm literally at the 2-second mark. So whenever you're ready.
Friendly reminder for everybody. We do not show it on screen. Don't want to waste you guys' time. You can watch the episode, circle back. We'll have the recap live. Or you can watch along with us and hear our thoughts as things are happening. I'm ready to hit play. Are you ready to hit play?
Hit it. It's a Demon Slayer. I don't think I ever not watched the intro.
I think I wanted to skip it last week, but I didn't. Because the music for me is just not hitting this season the same way as it did last time.
Now he's supposed to push his boulder like 300 something plus feet, right?
Yeah, and the Stone Hashira is apparently like looking at him and peeking at him. Is like, I don't know why they're having him peek. He's blind. This boy has been blind. So it's like, I feel like he sensed the vibrations in the earth, but they haven't fully explained how his eyesight works.
Yeah, well, I also know Toph is the coolest blind character.
Toph is the coolest blind person. That's why I didn't put him up there, because Toph is Toph Day Fong, baby. Seeing Toph in the new Avatar will be, that'll be money. I'm in.
Yeah, they got to get
Better be
that
like a
more.
real blind person though, because it's hard to have someone with sight really play a blind person competently unless you're like a high-ranking actor, which wouldn't fit for the age range.
I don't know. The Daredevil actor's been doing pretty well.
Yeah, Charlie Cox?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he got a fantastic job. Oh, shooting arrows. My bro, answer the message. Your bird wouldn't show up unless this was important.
Yeah.
Yes, dude, use your eyes. Come on. There we go. Fix that.
Did we ever get explanation as to why he didn't get a crow and he got a bird?
Because Zenitsu's a punk.
Okay.
And he's a sister stealer. He's that one friend in the friend group you can't trust with your family. Because like anytime a pretty girl comes up, Zenitsu's brain goes, and he stops. It just turns him right off. All intelligence out the window, and you're just like, why? Why Zenitsu? Why are you like this?
I mean, he's a teenage boy. I mean,
but again,
I'm not fully surprised I'm not fully surprised at it, but it's kind of like,
yeah. I'm still team Inosuke all the way, baby. Lord of the Mountain, let's go, my pig boy. And I'm very grateful that you got me that nice Funko Pop of him. It was a fantastic gift. Thank you.
yeah, I still got to get Guillaume's Funko at some point. Like,
His Guillaume is gonna be super cool, and I gotta go out and find a Tengen, because I got a Tengen figure, but like
I got
that's from
Tengen.
Japan.
I got Tengen right there.
Yeah, Tengen, everybody from Japan.
Yeah, that's nice. I like
Won
that.
him from a machine. He's gonna hang out with me during this episode. I'll bring him up so you guys can see him. Elevate him a little bit. Also, Tanjiro being like what 13, 14 is crazy. Thank you, Rails. Thank you. There it is. The exhaustion. I just moved a dang boulder. I am tired. Also, just for friendly reference, Guillaume is 27. He's the whole Hashira by a good minute. I think the next oldest is like 23, 24.
Yeah, I think Tanjiro is like what 16 now in this.
It's like 15, 16. I think he's like around the same age as Moichiro, and Moichiro is like 15, and he's already a Hashira.
Yeah, he was 13 at the very first episode, but at end of chapter 204 in the manga, he was 16. So I don't know where 204 in the manga is in relation to this.
Oh, look at that. Mr. Himejima. Namu Amida Butsu. What does that mean? Am I dead? Straight up waterboarding this man. Here you go. made the right choices at the village. Oh, he hasn't acknowledged a lot of people. That's very significant.
Mhm.
Let's go. Mm, no need to be ashamed.
He didn't. His sister put their lives ahead of her own when she
Mhm.
tossed them.
Yeah.
But when she tossed him, he made the decision. Yeah, I respect your decision, and took off. So
Yeah. Because like Tanjiro really grows on you. Because like the first season, cried way too much, kind of bothered me. Now it's like Tanjiro's just a straight up good human individual. So it's like, and Guillaume also has a really dark backstory.
mm,
I'm hoping they show a little bit more of it in this episode, so I won't say too much. If not, I'll talk about it at the end. It's not spoilers, just so everyone's clear. I just want to give the show the chance to do it. Yeah, that day was a super close call. I remember how torn up you were when that episode was happening.
yo, man, that one had me.
I'll be
This
that
and
flexible.
this and JJK have had me really like dive deep into it. Like I'm feeling it.
Oh, JJK is just getting started. You're going to be going through it here probably next season. I read ahead and I went through it emotionally then off screen, so I don't have to cry on screen with the fans. So JJK is mwah, chef's kiss. It is one of my favorite animes. Period. It's so good.
Yeah, it took
That
home a
was
lot of awards for the anime awards.
Yep. They're getting into the story.
There you
Oh, this
go.
is going to be a dark one. Brace your butts, folks. Brace your butts. Dry fish. Oh, kids. Mm. You're too skinny. Eat some fish. Mm.
That was cute.
I may not look it, but I'm stronger than all of you. Happy little family. Yeah, Guillaume is just a straight up good dude. But also, he's that kind dude you do not want to push over the edge. I'm sure we'll see that here shortly.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm sure you recognize him.
Mm.
Mm. I was wondering why they gave him the distinctive necklace. lore of demons still persisted. Oh, that child took out the incense. No, no, it's not him. It's a different demon. They panicked. Yeah. Mm. Yo, man. Hey. Come on, Guillaume. Show them who you are. No training, no weightlifting, no nothing. Straight up fighting a demon 1v1.
Ripping off arms.
And he won. But now that kid's gonna be extremely, traumatized. And he still felt compassion for the demon. That's wild. But also should show you how strong Yome is that Tanjiro had no idea he was blind. Like not even a clue. He's like, "You're blind? You're the number one Hashira? Are you sure?" Yeah.
Man, really?
Yome got done dirty. But she's a child. Like she was scared, impressionable. I can't really fault her for it. It's like he gave up his whole inner peace for her. Man. This master seems to show up exactly at the right time every time.
Mhm. Dang.
You never see who somebody is until their back's up against the wall.
This is wild. He done really been through it, and fact that he's still fighting.
And he's been doing this for a good minute now. That's why when he speaks or gets angry, the rest of the
Everybody
Hashiras
listens.
are like, "Yes, sir." Not fighting this. Even though he's also very, very, very emotional. Everybody's crying. Big his dang hands are. He's like the Hulk. He's like hanging out with Tom Holland.
I mean, he got that green, you know.
Crunchyroll or Hulu would probably have it. Plays Crunchyroll or Hulu. Depends where your region is. Now, since the training's over, which Hashira will we see next, or is it going to be like a compilation of everybody else?
I still want to see what's going on with
Genya?
No, I mean, I definitely want to know what's going on with Genya with that, but yeah, freaking Shinobu. I want to see what her mission is because she's supposed to be working with the poison lady. Her name escapes me. Tamayo.
Kanao?
Yeah, the lady. With
Going to Giyu's. Going on a road trip. There it is. Considering Genya can't use a breathing technique, the fact he's actually at the last training and everyone else hasn't made it is crazy. It's like, yeah, let's talk about your brother who hates me. Be a fun conversation. Pizza, what are you doing? Sitting in a boulder. What are you doing?
I mean, it's warm, right?
I was sitting on top of it. I thought he was in it. I'm like, what? He's too serious. Something happened. I wonder if he finally got the news. What's up, Anime Shadow? Welcome in. Welcome in. Nice solo leveling back. We have all of those episodes covered on the channel and can't wait for part 2 later this year. Oh, something happened, all right. I haven't seen episode 7 anywhere else yet, Anime Shadow. Hulu, I would give a try. They've been really good about anime this year. Oh, he is covered in blood. Wonder if that's either physical strain or like banging his head against something.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's banging his head against something. Something frustrated him.
The animation style on some of those trees was crazy. I don't even think she knows you're gone, Tanjiro. No offense. I think Nezuko's kind of doing her own thing right now. There we go.
Oh.
Hashira fight. Sanemi and Gi. Hmm. Check out FIFA's comment anime. Might be a good place to look.
He said, "I'm not like the rest of you."
Hmm. Sanemi. Sanemi's like, excuse me? Restraining order? Anyone? Hmm.
He's like, "Yeah."
Completely stone faced. Oh, that can't be healthy for you.
Talk
Okay. Oh,
about the red bean mochi. You ain't got to treat me like that.
he's like, what the heck happened? Got angry and stormed away.
I was messed up.
Episode is already up. We are watching it on Crunchyroll. We don't have legal rights, authorities, or permissions to share it on screen. We'll be talking about the episode recap here shortly. By shortly, I mean probably next 10 minutes or so. Mm-mm. Yeah. Sonomi's always angry. Look at you trying to be nice. Because like they literally just want to. Don't bother. Wow. Okay. Nice bird. Like, got to try something with this angry dude to calm him down. Friendship will not make you weak, Sonomy. It's okay. But like, if you know his backstory and his lore, you know why he's pissed off constantly. You knew he was being spied on. Muzan has found everybody. Everyone on high alert. It's time.
You gotta protect the master.
The king of drip himself. Michael Jackson, y'all. He's gonna all over these kids.
Mm-mm.
The slowest opening
I like where this
roar
is
in
going.
human history.
He done freaking found him. Dang it.
So next week's episode, the finale, is going to be popping.
Yeah, so that was
There
still
is
a
there
standard
is stuff
episode.
in the end credits. Skip to the 28-minute mark, everybody, because it's continuing the walk-in. I don't know what they're gonna show overall, but I'm very interested to see.
No, that he found him. That's what he was trying to do. I mean, he's looking for Nezuko, but he found the master.
And the master's too weak to do a single dang thing about any of this, and he's not really bothered that every single Hashira is within a reasonable distance of what's about to happen. It's left the door open, like, "Hey, come on in."
My guess what's going to happen is
This will be what
everyone's going to
motivates them to
show
go
up.
after him.
Everybody's going to show up to attack him, right? Because he infiltrated. So everybody's going to show up, and then Muzan's going to whisk them all the way to the Infinity Castle, and they're just going to be in the Infinity Castle, and that's where the fight begins. It's my guess. I'm spitballing here. We'll see.
Because I was gonna say, are you at the 30-minute mark of the episode?
I'm
It's
at
kind of telling
31.
you what's going on. There's stuff after the credits, just so everyone's aware. Because Muzan is just standing outside the door right now. There's not a single sign of anybody. Nice to meet you. Dang. Michael Jackson has found the master. Well, did we like the master? Because might be time to say goodbye. A lot to really break down in that one. Episode is officially over, everybody. So we're gonna get into the recap, meat and potatoes of this episode. Will, as per usual, once you have finished, it's all yours, good sir. I'll let you start.
Yeah, he just stepped up to the door. I said so. Like, is he gonna just kill him? Is he gonna capture him? Is he...
Because there's a because like literally with everything going on, there is so much to really delve into. It's like we all knew the Masters days are basically numbered that at this point. So even if Muzan, you know, did something, like, is it a mercy at this point? Just due to the fact and the nature of the Masters already at death's door.
I mean, it's possible, but I wouldn't really consider it a mercy because he's still gonna die. But I mean, it'll be a mercy if he dies seeing his wish fulfilled of taking out Musa.
Because like this, if he does go through with his plan, which more or less is to take out the Master, that will only further ignite the fire within the Hashira training corps to is it would it be it would be revenge at that point, which we know heroes genuinely or generally don't do. So to be able to see how things will play out from here will be interesting, because now we know that Sanami, of all people, is the one who is fully aware of the infiltration. But at this point, is it too little, too late? How are we going to play things? There's a lot to really break down here, and I really want to get your genuine thoughts on Guillaume. Tell me how you feel now that you have seen the man that Guillaume is.
I mean, his backstory is tragic. It sucks. I'm glad that he's able to continue on and that they found something for him to do to kind of get back at the demons because they're the ones that cause all this. But yeah, I honestly, I still want to see him in action. I guess I can't give a full sense. I see him actually scrapping at some point. So,
when you see him scrap, you're gonna be like, he's been able to do this whole time, because remember, he was able to kill an actual demon. The episode has been up on Crunchyroll for some time, Somink, so I think you should be able to go out and find it at this time. Hopefully, I said the name correctly. Nice. Is that Jerry? Yeah, it's Jerry from good old Tom and Jerry. It should be up there on Crunchyroll for most people, but Guillaume without training, no training, no weightlifting, no running, no exercise, no nothing, was able to eliminate a demon with his bare hands. So imagine going through the Hashira training, and then you can just kind of see in our background here the weapons in which he utilizes. Not really stuff that you would want, the average person to wield, just due to the dangerous nature of that weapon can be used against you just as easily as it is a weapon against those around you. So Guillaume is going to be somebody that's you'd probably break out for, say, Kokushibo, the number one, and just let him run it and see how things are done. Because I don't think Akaza is going to be stepping up, try and challenge Guillaume. I don't think Doma, even as crazy as he is, wants a piece of Guillaume. Maybe they want a piece of Gyu or Sanami or any of the other Hashiras. But at the same time, Guillaume, you got to be a certain breed and a certain caliber of demon to be like, this is the guy I want if he unlocks his mark. Because he's the number one Hashira, and he hasn't even gotten his mark to work yet. So the minute he activates it, things are going to pop off. But they did his story well. They did his story justice. I know in the anime, he didn't pummel the demon to death. He literally just good old fashioned 2 hands around the old throat, and that's all she wrote. So I think that was a nice change, because it's kind of easier to say that he just kind of went into instinctual mode and managed to sub secrets, be able to go ahead and just use his fists to get the job done overall. So it's definitely a nicer change. it's harder as a hero to go through certain actions that, more often than not, when villains do them, we have to root against it, but like then heroes would get like the pass on it. You know what I'm saying?
No, it makes sense.
What seems to have your attention over there? Are you looking up some story, looking up some lore, or is there something you wanted to?
No, so what I'm looking at is I'm trying to figure out. All right, so we saw what everything that happened with Guillaume, so that and the guy sacrificed everybody else.
The one with the half moon necklace.
Yeah, where's he at?
He is, as far as we are all aware at this moment in time, just gone. We don't know if he even survived his deal. There's not much to discuss on it, or more
Okay,
or
so
less, he could be a more prominent character. There's could be potential spoilers for that, but I'm not going to get too into that. But you're looking in all the right places right now.
okay, yeah, we don't. It's something I don't want spoilers and stuff. All right, so that's one question that plagued me. The other one is I'm looking at freaking Muzan, and this is something I've wondered since the beginning. Like, are Muzan and the master, are they related in some way? Are they brothers or something? Like I'm getting
Something
vibes.
they are tied together through some integral reason, but I don't believe it is blood, because like we heard the master's first words. It's nice to meet you, finally. And it's like you guys have just been scheming against each other, never meeting. Like this is like Charles and Xavier level of scheming and pettiness and setting up all
Yeah,
these plans and intricacies. But then like you find out like you've never actually been introduced to this individual personally. Like that would be wild.
yeah.
It's like they've
So
been at this for
a
a
minute, right?
minute. Yeah. Because like these aren't the original Hashiras. These aren't the first batch. These aren't the second batch. These aren't the third batch. Like they've been doing this feudally, I might add, for years. That's why when they finally was like, someone actually killed an upper rank, someone took out an upper rank. Yo, this is new. This is exciting. This is different. And then kind of lit a fire underneath all of these Hashira, and now they're like, hey, we can kind of go out and do this. We might be able to get certain things done that we thought were impossible before. And then these marks started activating. Like, imagine if this mark had been able to be activated for Rengoku, because Rengoku was fighting an upper 3 demon.
Oh, he. I think he would have won. He would have won that fight
Yeah, so it's
if he
like
had a mark. He would have won.
it should kind of give everyone a perspective on like how strong some of these heroes are, considering none of their marks have activated other than for Moichiro and Tanjiro. Like those are our two
Wait,
guys that are
didn't
what's
Kanroji,
his
didn't her mark activate?
yes, hers did too. I almost always forget about her. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because she's like one of my least favorite Hashira, even though she is incredibly strong. It's just her attitude about certain things are just so over the top. Sometimes I'm just like,
Man,
oh, okay.
she makes pancakes. I support her. Loves pancakes. Pancake.
Yeah.
So, but all right. So we know that there was previous Hashira, but how many previous Hashira were there? So we know the Urodaki
Mhm.
was one. We know what's Zenitsu's teacher
Mhm.
was one, and we know Tengen was one.
And you talked about one of the most important things from this episode they didn't really touch upon that they could have. Zenitsu. Something
Yeah,
happened and something pivotal has happened.
he seems jacked up. Like what has got him so flustered?
Do you
Like he is
remember
focused
him
though.
telling his story in the earlier seasons? Or do you need a quick refresher?
No, I remember he was the one person who believed in him, which was the former Thunder Hashira, right?
There were two people that believed in him. There were two students of the Thunder Hashira. One went a different route than Zenitsu. And this letter, if I'm reading into things correctly, is going to directly tie into that individual who means a lot to Zenitsu. Because remember, he sucks at focusing. He sucks at training. He sucks at paying attention. He can't get his mind right unless he's knocked out. Now look at him. Focused, determined, skipping lunches, on one.
I told you Zenitsu's been my boy since the beginning. I thought I was playing. Like, look, man, Zenitsu has come through multiple times, so this ain't
Still
gonna
one
be
of
no
the
different.
most annoying characters.
I don't care.
And
I
the
think
craziest
Inosuke's not
thing is,
annoying. Inosuke's annoying as hell,
I
but we
love
still support
Inosuke.
him.
That's my boy.
I got Zenitsu's sword right there in the corner.
Take my Mountain Lord all the way through and through. But like the funniest thing about Zenitsu, his voice actor in Japan, same one as Dabi from My Hero Academia.
Really?
Same dude. I just figured
That-
that out the other day, so I was like, yo,
That's wild.
I was like, that is just voice acting talent personified. Like, I don't know how else to really break that down. Is there anything else about this episode you wanted to break down, or did we want to get into the recap?
No, we get to recap. That was pretty solid. We kind of just know where it's going, and I'm hoping that the next episode is a true longer episode because this was the same size
It's
as a
like
normal
35
episode.
minutes. Yeah.
It's like that, and then we had the walk was an extra 3-minute tack on. It was like, really, this is, don't advertise me as freaking having Demon Slayer episodes that are an hour long and then it just be this or whatever. Now, granted, some of
They
that could
said
have been
40
lost.
minutes.
That could have been lost in the internet somewhere. I ain't seen anything that said Crunchyroll officially said that. So, but yeah, I'm just saying.
It was a fantastic episode. A lot of great stuff to break down. We'll see you guys in the breakdown for that. Be sure to hit that lovely red subscribe button. Or you can go ahead and hit that follow button on Twitch. Both are free. Remember, YouTube, once we get to our 1,000 subscriber mark, we got to give away for you, the viewers. Going to be some exciting times. And you'll be seeing us even later today for House of the Dragons, Episode 2. Let's get ready for some more on that front. In the meantime, we'll see you in the next one.